I'm glad to hear it. We're running a little behind, they tell us, so I guess we can go ahead and try to get started here. All right. I'd like to welcome everyone. This is Attainability Housing in Rural Communities. My name is Mark Gaines. I'm the mayor of Bowling Green, and it's my honor to be here and with us. Pleasure to moderate this for these lovely people up here. We have with us today, we have Jason Tickle with Caroline Community Habitat for Humanity and Jeannie Barbaro with the USDA Rural Housing. I do like to welcome them. And I hear this is our first time of having this summit, so I'm going to ask a question. How many of y'all been here before? Good deal. I didn't catch anybody. All right, well, to speed things up, I'm going to go ahead and ask, Jason Tickle to come on up and give his little presentation. Then we'll have Barbara. Then afterwards, we'll have questions and hopefully get some good answers. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mayor Gaines. Appreciate it. Welcome. Thank you guys for taking the time. I know there's a lot of good sessions you can pick from, so we appreciate you coming here today. I'm a little biased about our program, but I think we got one of the best ones in the state. So the question posed is, how do you build affordable and rural communities? And I'll be honest with you, it's the same thing as any community. There is no difference. The only difference might be some of the funding streams you need, but the first and foremost thing that you have to do, you have to build partnerships. You have to leverage people's passions, and you have to get community buy-in. You guys have all seen The Godfather, right? You've heard, I'm going to make an offer they can't refuse. You have to go to your board of supervisors with a package that is so appealing that they cannot say no. That is what you have to do, because the last barrier to affordable housing is on the local level. I'm not saying that every solution to every problem is out there, but there are many, many solutions that we can use and we can tap into. I'm very fortunate in Caroline, we have the privilege of working with USDA, and I'll get more in that in a moment. But let me talk about some of the local partnerships and how we're able to kind of get a successful program going. So one of the things we have going is partnerships with the school. Now, this is good in many fronts. One, a teacher in Caroline County is considered very low income. So when we work with them, it gives me access to people who can't afford homes. So that's one front. So when you can go to your community and say, I can help house your teachers, what are they going to say? So secondly, when you can leverage the dollars to do other things in your community, you got to have synergistic programs that will make your dollars go further and solve other problems as well. One of those is training for workforce development. So what we've done in Caroline is we're funding a program where students are going to fully build a home. It's going to be sold at cost to a local veteran. So this is an example of leveraging money, leveraging partnerships that you created in such a way that the community really cannot say no. Those loud vocals that he talked about before in the community will look like total idiots if they're up against things like this and they're saying, no, not in my community. So it's all about leveraging your resources, building coalitions. As the saying says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go in a group. So it's really important that you build those groups, you build those coalitions, because it's going to get you through the nonstop barriers that pop up. We call it whack-a-mole. We never know what we're going to face, but we know it's going to pop up. But we know we have the community support. We know we have the partners that whatever pops up, we're going to be able to whack that mole. Another example of this and why leveraging is so important, in 2019, we got our first USDA 523 mutual self-help grant. This is probably, in my estimation, if you're in a rural community, the most stable, reliable way to build affordable homes. This essentially was USDA program was Habitat before Habitat was Habitat, but we used that grant and leveraged it with George Washington Regional Commission, and we were awarded a $2 million planning district grant. We were actually the only, from what I've been told, the only nonprofit in the whole state that received the entire award. And that was because of the strength of our federal partnership. They shared where money comes from in the other slides. It comes from the federal government. It doesn't really come from the localities. So having this partnership enabled us to stand apart and be able to leverage other funds. And so we're breaking ground on our first mixed income neighborhood actually on the 28th of this month. So we're really excited about that. Thank you. But really, ultimately, for my affiliate, for the areas we serve, and for many parts of our region, there is no better partner that you can have than the USDA. They have programs that literally will help new construction, rehab old, and more importantly, financing that will help people get homes. We're never going to be able to build our way out of this. The solution really lies in financing and creative ways to finance programs, and they have one of the most creative ways. So I want to introduce Jeannie Barbaro now. She is the head of housing for single family here in Virginia, and she'll go through some slides and tell you about what they have, and we're glad to answer questions along the way.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for coming, as Jason said, to see our part of the program. Do I need to be closer? I can scream. I am Jeannie Barbaro, the Single Family Housing Program Director for Rural Development in the state of Virginia. I'm going to go over a few of our programs. We're the best secret around. You won't see us on a billboard. You won't see us on TV. The only way you hear about us is sessions like this or by word of mouth. We do affordable programs for homeowners and for those that are looking for the dream of homeownership. I'm going to start with one of our programs that we do with existing homeowners. These are our very low homeowners that have homes also in the rural areas. It has to be in an eligible area, so of course it would have to be in a rural area. We do things like countertops, roofs, windows, doors, floors. We have a grant program that if our homeowner is 62 years or older, they could qualify for a $10,000 grant. Does not have to be repaid. It is to remove health and safety hazards, and that would be roofs, doors, floors, air conditions, heat pumps, furnaces, water, things like that. And then we also have our loan program for them as well, which is a 1% loan for 20 years. So that's a great option. You'll never find that in any commercial loans anywhere. Very affordable product. We also do more than that. We do counseling. We talk to applicants. A lot of times we don't even put money into the program or into the situation just because we can't get it there. Like the home there on the far left corner is, this is one of my favorite stories to tell. This lady came into my office and she told me she just needed a roof. Now, I haven't seen her house, so I don't know what she's talking about. I'm assuming she only needs a roof. So I had to go visit her, obviously, to make sure the home did exist and to make sure there wasn't other repairs that needed to be done, because a lot of times some of our homeowners fail to tell us maybe they need a window or their porch is caving in, but they're just telling me what they really need most. I drove by that house and I thought, nope, that's not it. Drove by it probably 4 times. The saddest thing is, around the corner, there's a grassy area, and I finally did stop because I was going to ask for directions for this particular lady's house. She was in her side yard working in her flowers, out in her yard working. This lady had a lot of pride with what she did have. I walked into that house. You could see the light of day through her roof. She didn't have indoor plumbing. The windows, as you can see, were in terrible shape. The floor was cement, just solid cement. Some of the doors were not even attached. So she and I had a long talk. Obviously, my $10,000 was not going to remove the health and safety hazards for her. Nothing I had was going to make that house suitable. That was just the end of the deal. So we talked about it, and we talked to another nonprofit that was in town, and then we ended up getting indoor plumbing and indoor housing, that weatherization program to come in. The house right next to it on the right is her new house, 2-bedroom home. You can see the blue house in the back is the same lot, same spot. Rural Development did not put a penny into it, but we don't close the door without opening up a window somewhere for somebody to find an answer. And Carrie and I, our motto is we're looking for a yes. So when they come to our office, somehow, some way, we're talking about a yes. May not be today, may not be tomorrow, but we're going to find a yes. So that's one of my favorite stories to tell, because she ended up with a great house. Rural Development didn't put any money into it, but because I had contacted with her, kind of knew of some other resources, we put it together a deal. So that's our repair program that we have. It provides loans to the very low-income homeowners to repair, improve, or modernize their homes, or provides grants to the elderly, very low-income homeowners to remove health and safety hazards to make it more accessible. We also can do the aging in place. We can go in, redo bathrooms, whatever we need to do, so they can live there the rest of their lives. So to qualify, of course, they have to be a homeowner. Now, they don't have to have the home paid in full, as long as we have a deed that shows they do have home ownership. Now, we can have a lifetime estate, because a lot of elderly people have put their homes in their families' names for reasons that they need to take care of. So a lifetime estate works for us. We can do that as well. Be unable to obtain affordable credit elsewhere, and, of course, have a household income of below 50% of the area median income. The grant, they have to be 62 or older and not be able to repay a loan. So we do a type of a budget with them, and if it looks like they have other debts or other obligations and can't afford a loan, then they qualify for the grant. Now, if you have a Mr. and Mrs., and one of them is 62 but the other one is not, it's okay. They still will qualify. As long as one of them is over 62, we can get them the grant assistance. And those are some more of the repairs that we do, the before and the afters. Tubs into walk-in showers. We can combine grant money with loan money, so they can end up with a combination of $50,000 and be able to, afford it, because that loan is a 1% loan. They're 20 years, like I said, it's a fixed income of 1%. We don't even have title work done on them unless they're more than $25,000. We don't even require a deed of trust unless that loan amount is more than $7,500. So, and then the grant requirements obviously is income cannot exceed the very low income guidelines. At least one applicant must be 62 or older. Obviously, I get a little ahead of my slides. The credit history is not considered for grants. And then the property must not exceed our area loan limit, which is not a problem. Our area loan limits have increased in the last few years. That's not a problem at all. And then, of course, their income is below the 30% AMI. And then we have our direct loan program, and this is the program that we work with Jason hand in hand, and we are able to make that affordable package very affordable, because not only do they get subsidized payments, we also work with Jason and they get the self-help program as well, which is basically they assist in building their homes. Of course, they're under a contractor supervision, but that whole neighborhood works together to build their houses. Let's say, for instance, you have 6 homes that are going through the self-help program with Jason. Their home is financed with Rural Development, so they probably have a 1% loan. All families work together on their homes, nights, evenings. They put in hours, putting in sheetrock, putting in the roofs, doing all that work. But that not only builds like a family, it builds a neighborhood, because now we're very close and we're very protective of our neighbors, because we helped each other build our houses. We helped each other build this community. So it works out in more than one way, very affordable, but still builds a very sustainable neighborhood as well. And then we work solo with that as well. Our programs provide a path to homeownership for the low and the very low income families living in rural areas and have families who truly have no other way to make affordable homeownership a reality. So the homes do have to be in a rural area. You can go to our website, click in the address, and it tells you immediately if it is a rural area or not. If you're really close to a downtown metropolitan area, you definitely need to check that address to be sure that it's rural in character and we would be able to make a loan there. This program assists the low and the very low income applicants to obtain a decent, safe, and sanitary house in eligible rural areas by providing payment assistance to increase their ability or their repayment ability. What that means is the government subsidizes a part of their payment. So our interest rate right now is like 4.125, but these applicants could possibly qualify for a 1% loan. So what we do is every 2 years, we reevaluate the income to make sure they still qualify, and then we move forward with their payments. So it's a very good program, a very affordable program. The amount of payment assistance is determined by the adjusted income, and this slide's a little old. Our interest rate ranges from 1 to the 4.125. So we can finance existing, stick-built, new construction, modular, and manufactured houses. We try to make it as easy as possible. There's no down payment. We loan 100% of the market value. Payments are based on their income, once again, from the 4.125 to 1%. It's 100% affordable. It is a fixed rate. When they close that loan, that rate sticks. The only thing it could possibly do is go lower. It will never go higher. The closing costs and repair costs could be included if that appraisal supports it. I don't always promise that when I talk to them because I don't want to become a liar. Because sure as I tell you we can include it, what that means is if you pick out a house for $300,000, it gets appraised for $300,000. If you qualify, we loan $300,000. If it appraises for $325,000 and you qualify for $325,000, then we have some flexibility that we can include those loan closing fees. But sure as I tell you that, your house will appraise for exactly what they're selling it for, and I will not have any money left over. So we can include it, but we like to tell you up front, start saving now. That way you'll have it. If you don't need it, you can buy a new living room suite for that house. So, you know, it's a win-win any way you go. There's no prepayment penalty, and then, of course, we do escrow, taxes, and insurance. Obviously, you have to demonstrate a willingness and ability to repay a debt. You don't have to be on your job for 2 years. We like for you to be there for 2 years, but if for some reason you've changed jobs to better yourself, to enhance your career, maybe you just come out of college and you're just started nursing, there's exceptions to every rule. I mean, I've been around for 42 years. Obviously, I believe in this program or I wouldn't be standing here today. But, there are the gray areas where there are different situations. So I stay in the gray probably 60% of the time. But, we document what we're doing, and as long as it's legal, it's per the regulations. Like I said, we're looking for that yes. Credit worthiness, we are looking for that credit to be good. We like a 640 credit score, but if it's not there, we're going to talk about why it's not. Maybe you got 6 new T-shirts because you applied for 6 credit cards. We're going to talk about that, though. We're not going to do that again, but if that's what you did, that's not going to stop you from getting our loan. You cannot already own a home. Again, we can drop down into that gray. Maybe the home you own is not suitable, dependable. Maybe it's not safe. Maybe it's got some problems. Maybe your household has outgrown it. Maybe you've got 4 kids now and you've got 2 bedrooms. There are exceptions to that rule that we can work with. Obviously, you will have to sell that house before you buy this one, but you don't have to live in the street while we're getting our loan ready. We can work it out so it happens like a domino effect. So we'll work with you. Not be suspended or debarred from participation in federal programs, and must meet the citizenship or the eligible non-citizen requirements. And then your PITI is around 33%, and your total ratio would be 41%. The property requirements, the 2,000 square feet has gone away now. We used to, that was tough, and we'd have to find a house that was less than 2,000 square feet, or we'd have to get a waiver for it. That no longer exists any longer. As long as the home is moderate, we're okay. So the square feet of living space is not a big deal to us anymore. Obviously, it does still have to be in a rural area. You can check our website. Typically, it's 1 acre or less, but the big deal is that it cannot be subdivided. I know a lot of subdivisions now, minimum is 3 acres, maybe 5 acres. That's fine. Cannot be subdivided, so we can roll with that. That's not a problem. We do have 5 office locations with a few sub-offices across the state of Virginia. Obviously, that does not cover all of Virginia in any way. So we really depend on partners like Jason, other nonprofit partners. We are always looking for partners to help us spread the word, to help us get our program out across the state of Virginia. And you can apply, you can take the application and send it to us by email. You can drop it off at our office. You can mail them to us. During COVID, we got real creative. So, I mean, we were sometimes taking pictures of applications. We don't do that anymore, but because that was a hard thing to do. So you can contact the local office near you. Mine and Carrie's business cards are outside on the table. Reach out to Jason. Pre-quals are not required. If your credit is questionable and you want to be pre-qualified, we can do it, but it's not something we have to do because obviously if we do a pre-qual, we're going to pull an in-file credit on you. That's going to, ping that credit report, that credit score, and then in 2 weeks, if you place an application, we're going to get a residential credit report. So we don't want to mess up your credit score any more than we have to unless you want us to do a pre-qual, and obviously we can. The website is www.rd.usda.gov. You can visit that for the eligibility, and also the income limits are there too for the state of Virginia. And then we also, on our website, you can do a self-assessment. Of course, the credit's not pulled, but you can plug in income and it's going to tell you what you qualify for. If your income is this or your income is that, it's going to kind of tell you what you qualify for. There are fact sheets there, other information about our programs. And this is only 2 of the programs that rural development has. We actually have about 50 programs. We do water and waste, community facilities, fire trucks, police stations. I mean, you name it, we are in the community. We also have our guaranteed housing program, and this is for the more fortunate applicants that are moderate income. They're a little one step higher than most of our applicants. They make a little more money, so they can reach out to a commercial lender. That lender makes the loan for them, and we guarantee 90% of it. So that makes the lender be able to reach out and give our applicants a more affordable loan with no loss to it. I mean, if we're going to guarantee 90% of their loss, what banker would not want us to work with them and guarantee that loan? So that works out well too, because then we can provide housing for those applicants as well. It's a 0 down payment. Theirs is a 30-year fixed, whereas the one I talked about before is 33 years, and sometimes it can be 38 years depending on the income. So, and there's no PMI on either one of them. Both of them have to be in a rural area, so you would have to go to the website to make sure it's rural. And then there's national approved lenders out there for that guaranteed loan. And you wonder, why does USDA Rural Development do this? Well, our program provides that path to homeownership for the very low income families living in rural areas and families who truly have no other way to make affordable homeownership a reality. Providing these affordable homeownership opportunities, keeping the homes in good repair, promotes prosperity, which in turn creates a thriving community and improves the quality of life in rural areas. I have to say that, like I said, I've been with the agency 42 plus years. My family got a rural development loan when I was in the 4th grade. I remember renting houses. I remember having to move from one house to another. And I just remember what a difference that made when we got our own house and how proud my parents were when we got it. So, and I could get real teary-eyed about that because I really, really believe in what we do, and I love what we do, and I've been blessed to be able to do this for 42 years. So the more people we can reach out and help, the happier I am. The more people that get excited, the more excited I get. And just as a little plug for us, Virginia Rural Development was number 2 in the nation this year of providing money across the Commonwealth of Virginia, second only to California, which I've never been able to compete with California, but I think that's amazing what our team has done and the money we put on the floor. And we were number 1 with the very low. They break it to low and very low and then a complete package. So our complete package, we were number 2 in the nation, and then our very low money was number 1 in the nation. So it's a big pat on the back for our staff at Rural Development here in Virginia. We all believe in what we do, and I think most of them carry the same motto that Carrie and I do, is we're looking for the yes, not for a reason not to help you, but a reason to help you. And if we can fix it, we're going to do that too. And with partners like Jason, we wouldn't be where we are today. So that's all I have. If you have any questions, we're ready for them.
Oh, wow, that was great. Really good. I do have to say with Jason's Habitat for Humanity, the workforce, I see it every day almost now. They're building 3 houses about 400 yards or 400 feet from my house. And I see them out there. They got spotlights on it so it gets dark early now, and they're out there working. The people that are buying the houses are out there actually working, at night with the spotlight on, putting the floors down, subfloor down on their place, putting walls up. They really do work. So it's just, you can take it from me. If they call it workforce, it is workforce. They do that to help keep the prices down. But anyhow, I'm not going to carry on any longer, but I would like to open the floor up. Anybody have any questions? If you do, if you could please come up to the microphone here, where you don't have to holler and everybody can hear you, and we'll be glad to entertain questions. Thank you.
I'm Xavier Richardson, Senior Vice President and Chief Development Officer of Mary Washington Healthcare. This is affordable housing, of course, is one of our main issues that were identified by the community for our Community Health Needs Assessment and our CHIP. I want to first say thank you, Jason. Thank you for being in our community. Don't ever leave. You've done some phenomenal things, and I wish that we could spread that all throughout our region. I congratulate you on that. A couple of things. One, I was very impressed with the presentation you made, but I'm also frustrated. My son and his wife just moved out of my home last weekend, and he's an educator and is a first-time homeowner. And I felt that I had to be the realtor in terms of referring him to sources for a first-time home owner and a community servant. And I see so many people going to purchase homes that don't know these things, and the builders are not sharing this information with them. And it's pretty frustrating that something that they are entitled to that many people don't know. I don't know how we address that, but I know they have preferred relationships with some bankers. I may make someone mad by saying that, but it is frustrating because I see so many people who are waiting to save 20% to make a down payment, and then the additional monies that it takes for closing costs, and not aware of these resources that exist. So I'm looking for ways to spread the word, and perhaps we're the largest employer, and we probably have a lot of employees who would qualify, and perhaps we can have you come to the hospital, and I would encourage other employers, school systems, and others to likewise bring people like you into their respective arenas to talk with employees. It's such a great resource, but we're looking for ways to do that. And I grew up in Mayfield, and I know that there's opportunity to build some homes there. As soon as I found out, on my daily walk, I was going around making a list of people, because what I was finding is that the people who have been living there for many years, who are paying very high rents and taking care of their homes in such a way that most people think that they own them, were not aware that the houses were being built. And so we're trying to be proactive for those remaining lots. So hopefully we can bring some other community groups. So I encourage everybody to look at whatever organizations they're a part of, whether it's churches, their employees, to make sure that people are aware of this. And this is a great way to address that. And lastly, do you work with nonprofit homeowners to, how can I say this? I mean, nonprofit organizations specifically to provide housing for their employees? Can it be that restrictive?
Now, what was that question again?
Okay, basically, we are the hospital. We're a nonprofit organization. We have a lot of employees
Right.
who would qualify. Is there any way to work with you, just like, Jason, you work with this, the county schools in Caroline? Is it possible to work with other large nonprofit organizations that have significant populations of persons?
Absolutely, yep. We can work with any nonprofit organization, absolutely. And we can help the employees obviously get loans as well, but then you all could spread the word. You even can become packagers, kind of like Jason is with us. You know, you get the people together, you ask them the questions, you go through the process, put the packages together and send to us. That was one of my slides of my presentation was the packagers and the nonprofits that help us,
Right.
because you're right. That's the only way we can get the word out, is
Right.
for organizations like yours, like his, that see the people on a daily basis, that know our program
Right.
and can spread the word. And yes, to your question earlier, you know, Carrie and I can come out, do a training with your staff, talk to you, you know, definitely. That's our only way of doing it.
Right. And if we need extra labor, we have 4,000 employees, and they can provide some of that manpower.
I would also add, all of you businesses out there, if you want to donate to my packaging program, we could greatly increase the number of loans for our region. We have the ability, but I just don't have the staff. I don't have the people to do it. And it's something that I've submitted several times in the region. But as a packager, we can literally help people walk through that often kind of time suck of getting an affordable loan. And so that's one of my strategic goals, is we want to have a very vibrant, active packaging program, because at the end of the day, I know it can only build so many homes, and I really believe that through packaging and through offering the loans and pairing them with other down payment assistance grants, which is how we can make the largest impact, especially for our teachers, our nurses, all the folks like that. There is so much available. It's just it's just somebody to kind of play that quarterback role to make sure you get all these pieces together. And Caroline Habitat is ready for anybody who wants to help us get there.
Great. We will do that lunch that we talked about.
So thank you both. I'm super excited for the energy around this partnership. But can you elaborate a little bit more on the packaging and then talk about how this marriage came together? Because when you think about the greatness of USDA and then Habitat, I love the restores. Wherever there's a restore across the state of Virginia, because my team used to, in my former job, we would go and volunteer. And so I am a huge proponent of all that Habitat does. And I'm not gonna stand here and cry, but I just get so excited because you help things become a reality. Because like you just said, when people got lights and they laying down flooring and then they get to move in and they get the keys to what they just helped to create, yeah, that's just a beauty of us being human. So can you tell a little bit more about that, what the packaging looked like, and then how you two got to come together to do what you do and make things happen?
Sure, absolutely. So in 2018, actually, you know, I've been doing this now for 12 years, and I had an opportunity I was the operations manager at Fredericksburg Habitat, and I got an opportunity to go down to Caroline. Well, during that time, I had been building relationships with the USDA. And when I moved to Caroline, I just continued building those relationships. 2018, I get a phone call saying, hey, somebody dropped out of the self-help program. We're at the end of the year. This is like, we need to spend this money. Can you turn in a package in like 60 days? Most people take 6 months to do this. And I was like, well, am I going to get it? Yes, if you fill it out right, you'll get it. So through that, Jeannie and her team and the state director at the time. We got it in, we got it turned in, we got approved, started building the end of 2019. Of course, you all know what happened in 2020. So it kind of slowed down our processes and everything that we had planned. But the partnership has just been extremely fruitful, and wait till you see our next grant package, what we have planned. It really is amazing. If you look at other self-help providers around the nation, and I'm not saying we're going to do this, but there's groups out in California building 100 homes a year using this method. So that's one reason we had to expand to multiple counties, because we realized the resources we had access to were just not adequate for one county. And so we couldn't come this way. We tried. There was no interest in any partnerships. So we moved the other direction. And we'll continue to do that. But we have 5 counties we serve now. And in the next probably 5 years, we will eventually have a self-help group going in every single county. But the packaging is an amazing program that really allows you to upscale in affordable homes, because you can only build so many. So this allows you to get some of the housing stock already on the market back to the affordable folks. So I'll hand it over to her now, and she can talk about the packaging.
Yeah, the packaging is a way that we do reach more people by using our nonprofits. The nonprofit can come to us. Typically, they are experienced in like homeownership applications, financial information, counseling, credit counseling, that type of stuff. And what they do is they reach out to the customer. They get the package, they take the application, get our documents, provide us with the package, and then, if that package goes to closing, then we can compensate them for their time. There's a packaging fee, and it does go directly to the packager. So, because we know nonprofits, they have to pay their employees, they have to pay for the time that they sit down and talk to our applicants, and some applicants take more time than others. So, with that being said, our packagers will take care of the application and then provide it to us. We provide the loan, pay them for their packaging fee. Now, there is a class that they take. It's a USDA approved class. It's like 3 or 4 days. It is online now, or you can take it in person. That makes you a certified packager for the homeownership. And then once you get that, then you can submit those packages electronically. It goes to an intermediary, which is FAHI or Virginia Housing. They review it and then send it to us. But it's a quick process. It's a way that people learn about us. So if you're interested in being a packager, please let me know. Carrie and I can do a little preliminary class that kind of tells you kind of what it's all about, how it works, for you to decide if, do I want to do that? Do I not want to mess with it? That kind of thing. And then if you're still interested, then that's when you would reach out, sign up for the class, and become a certified packager. And you were talking about, meeting the needs of the people. You really haven't ever lived until you go to a house that you've provided the financing and you go into the final inspection, and you have a family of 4 and they've lived in a trailer, maybe a mobile home, brother and sister shared rooms all their lives. You've got this 5-year-old. She's standing there with this little teddy bear, and she looks up at me and says, "You want to come see my room?" And you go inside with her, and she goes, "This is all my room by myself, and I'm going to put my bed right here." I mean, it's just like, it's so hard not to just fall over, cry, and, get all mushy. But I'm telling you, it makes and everybody can say it makes a difference. You really don't know until you're standing there what a difference you make, and what a difference affordable housing makes for these people. What a difference it makes for the rest of their lives. It's just, I can't say enough about it. Definitely believe in the program, but we need packagers. So please, if you're interested, please reach out to Carrie or I, and we'll get you on track to become a packager.
Well, one thing, if you know people who need to, who may qualify for this program, and they tell you, "Oh, my credit is bad, look, let them apply. They will work with them, I should say, to get things straightened out. Okay, it's not, "Oh, sorry, you don't qualify." No, you may not qualify now, but we will work with you to get it straight. It may take a year, but it gets you in the system. So do not get discouraged, and tell them, don't be discouraged. There is a way that people can be helped, and the USDA wants to help people. Jason has a great workforce. And I tell you, I was proud to see him come down to Caroline. When he came down, I was on I think I was on council at the time, or was about to get on council down in Bowling Green. And he told me what he was going to do. So I've known him since then. The first thing I told him is, you're going to have a hard sale down here because our income is so low down here. And, you know, you have one parent working and got kids, and she's working 2 jobs and this and that. Well, you know what? He made it happen. And with the USDA backing him, they made it happen. You know, it was a tough sale to begin with, and he told me, you know, a year later, he was still pushing it and working it. He never gave up. He did seminars after seminars after seminars. So this is a great program, and I hope y'all really do look into it, take it back to different people. Got Mary Washington. I know that can help them out. You know, they do it to schools, local governments. The USDA is even helping out town of Bowling Green with low interest money and grant money for water and sewer. You know, it's not her area, but it's still rural development.
I guess I should add one more thing that I'm real proud of. Our homeowners, I have 4 under construction now, a bunch more ready to start, but they're moving in day one with $75,000 to $110,000 equity. That's generational wealth. That's generational change. That's what self-help can do.
We got enough time. One more question, if anybody has any. They gave me the 2-minute warning. Almost like last call, you know.
I got one more thing to say, too. It's going to be a tough budget next season. They are talking about cutting the 502 loan by $500 million. So if you have it in you to make sure you notify your congressman and your senators to say, we need more money in the 502 direct loan. It's not going to stop us from doing our work, but it will affect a lot of people that will not be able to get loans if they make that drastic of a cut.
We are directly funded by the U.S. government, so when they're talking the budget, they're talking about us. So oftentimes we get put kind of on that back burner, and I don't think people realize that our money comes from the USDA government.
We should be talking to the lady that opened us up this morning.
We're not allowed to lobby, so we have to kind of remember, you can.
Yeah, you can. That's right. She was here, Miss Spanberger, right? That's right.
She is the lady to talk to.
And she has a co-worker named Sean. I can't remember his last name. There he is. There he is right there. He does grants for her and stuff, right? He's the man I got to talk to, too.
So she was hurrying so she could do her part.
Yeah, she's a wonderful woman. She really is. She loves to help out the communities. So, hearing anybody else? All right, y'all have anything else to say? Okay.
I encourage everybody to go to the Governor's Housing Conference if you have not been. We'll be giving a presentation there, but it's so critical. There are resources that are available that we're not using in our region. I've grown up in this region, in this area. There's pictures of me at Hazelwild and daycare. And I'm telling you, there is resources that we're just not using as a region.
All right. Well, I'll have to wrap this thing up, but I would like y'all to give a warm, well, we already done the welcome, but anyhow. Yeah. Jason Tickle and Jeannie Barbro, please.
And we got a table right outside if anybody wants to talk.
Thank you.